I'm going to the Woodstock Fruit Festival in 1 month, over a month's time, 6 weeks, maybe 5 weeks' time. It's going to be the last Woodstock Fruit Festival. Now, I'm promoting my own event here in the UK, but I'm quite happy to promote the Woodstock Fruit Festival, despite the fact there are many people out there who don't even bother to do that. There are people who who are speakers, who are teachers at the event, who barely even bother to promote the festival, and that's been sad to see. And we'll get into. I want to speak a bit more about the event. And I've talked about Woodstock Fruit Festival a lot and made videos about it, made videos at it. I was inspired by the event. You know, it's the reason that I wanted to stay more of 100% raw path. You know, stay on a raw path. There's some midges out here. It was meeting those people. It was having those experiences. It was having all those friendships. It was a place where I was able to go and discover new things about myself, act in a completely different way. You know, go to a place where no one knew me, and I kind of became reborn in a way, if that makes sense. I left with new insights, new habits, new ideas, and all of the people were mostly really great, and I just really loved it, you know. And I met some fantastic friends. And the first Woodstock I went to, for all those people, I mean, now there's a sadness about it, but you've got to realise how exciting it was 3-4 years ago. And at that time, people were connecting on, 30 bananas a day and stuff. And there was the Woodstock Fruit Festival forum page, and people were making messages about meeting up in NYC in New York the night before, and and I set up like a fruit luck that I didn't get to go to because I flew into New York quite kind of late and didn't get there and lost my money and all this stuff happened. But I don't know, the next morning, the first night, I met people that I've not seen them in a while, but people that I'm still friendly with online and stuff. The next day, I met that next breakfast at the hostel in New York. I met a guy called Yella de Jong, and he's a guy that for a couple of years after that, I would see him in England, or I'd see him in Spain, or I'd see him in, just Woodstock again, a bunch of festivals. He was a guy that I saw a lot, good friend. Helped me out with the UK Fruit Fest a lot last year with the first year of that. And I remember meeting him in the morning. We were on the bus together. He just knew everything about nutrition and stuff. That's what it seemed like. And from there on, got to the event, started meeting more people. Everyone was really open, new to it. And I was meeting people that were like, yeah, I've been doing this 6 months, and I was amazed, by people that had been raw for more than like a day or whatever. And at that time, being raw was like was a goal. It was a thing. It was looked up. It was revered. And now it's lost that a little bit because people think it's a judgmental thing, but it's not a judgmental thing. It's just it's a worthy goal. It's a noble goal to go towards as high a peak as you can. Whether you come off that for a while or for a week or for a month or whatever, this is part of life. But move towards those goals. And then the first night at Woodstock that I was there, I was at the second year. The first year I went was the second year, and I met Connor, and I spent the rest of the event trying to hang out with this guy because I just thought this is the best guy at this event. Connor McMillan, also known as Handyman Bananas, got quite a big YouTube channel, and he's gone on to put an event on in Thailand and do seminars and all sorts of things that's come from his decision of getting into this lifestyle, changing his life. It changed his life. It really changed his life. And I remember meeting him that first night and just and seeing him maybe the next morning or whatever, and just thinking, he is the man, you know. He was just like the funniest, I don't know, most easygoing, easy to connect to person. He still is, you know, and he's got that just great ability to do that. And so I just spent the festival with him and a girl called Christina, not fully raw Christina, but another Christina, and we hung out a lot, and I just met a whole host of all sorts of amazing people, all from around the world. And I met some of my idols, you know. I idolised like Durian Ryder and Tim Van Orden, who wasn't meant to turn up that year, but he turned up. And I didn't really meet Doug Graham that year, I didn't really speak to him, but I got to go to his classes, met Robert Lockhart a bit more. I remember Robert Lockhart started speaking to me because I had a Scottish accent, I think, and he's originally from Scotland, so I ended up speaking with him, and he's been a huge inspiration for me. So there was all these experiences, all these people that I've just watched go on to do their own, to, you know, release books, to have websites, to create, you know, YouTube channels and social media presences, coaching people, helping people with their health. So many people went on to become athletes, went on to lose weight, went on to start their own events. You know, so many people like that I met, and there's people that I've lost touch with completely. But through going back again and again, made bigger and bigger friendships, and sometimes people have slammed the event. It wasn't perfect that year in terms of the food situation. There was a lot of durian the first year I went. I don't know if people remember that, but because last year it was like the durian was kind of limited to certain times, but the first time I went, it was just it was almost like there was more durian than anything else. And and then there was a day where there just didn't seem to be much fruit at all, and you know, there was issues like that, but it didn't overshadow for me, and we had some amazing nights by the campfire and stuff like that, just experiences for me. Sorry, I'm just shooing away flies. That'll stay with me forever. That was absolutely priceless. You know, it was probably the most money I'd ever spent on a trip, and you know, I didn't know for sure if it was the right thing, but you know, I guess I was scared to go, but I was also inspired and passionate to go. So this is the last year to become part of it, but to become part of the history of it, and it will be a historic thing that when you think about the people that were together at those events, the people that were there, and when you think about what they will go on to do in life, and what some of them have already done in life and achieved in a big way, you'll think back and go, that's amazing that all those people used to be at the same table, you know, eating a salad, eating some fruit on the lawn, sitting at a lecture. You know, they were all just hanging out together, listening to some music, talent show, you know. The talent shows are fantastic. Just Woodstock equals good memories. Woodstock equals good experiences. It's what's happened in the last few years has happened, and I don't know if it was right or wrong or not, or everything. I think the main thing that's always been the problem has been just not getting quite enough people to go. Just not getting quite enough people to go, and maybe just not getting the support it needed from the community, and unfortunately, like, silly social media stuff, battles, whatever, have overshadowed the event, and then people start creating rumours about it. People start saying, I'm banned from Woodstock. It's like, you're not banned from Woodstock. just because Victoria Arnstein Facebook doesn't mean you're banned on Woodstock. But don't create weird excuses for why you can't come to Woodstock. You know, it's still the epicenter of health as far as I'm concerned. You know, I don't think Rottle 4 or carbs or blah 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 start solution. I don't think any of that veg fest, whatever, nothing to that has overshadowed to me the fact that Woodstock is the centre of health. Maybe with Doug not being part of it and a few other people not being part of it, maybe it's not as much the centre as it was, but it's going to be a great party. I'm just looking forward to it so much. You know, I'm just looking forward to that experience, that vision, Mike Arnstein's vision. And for me, I feel like I'm sad that I don't know. Here's some negatives now. Not about the festival and not really about Mike too much. Not really about Mike at all. What he did was amazing. Sometimes it felt to me that there was a lot of hangers-on. What I mean by that is people would maybe, like some of there was all these pioneers, quite a lot of them, and they were all getting travel expenses and everything to come. And really, you know, how many of them were really helping out to promote the event, and how many of them were really getting a lot of people to come, and how many of them were, I mean, it's not about who's got the biggest YouTube channel or something. It's about, you know, speak to people, tell them the event's happening, message people. I mean, I went to the event a bunch of times. I've never really got a message from anyone other than like a friend to say, are you coming? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I've had friends say to me, oh, are you coming to Woodstock, or are you going? But I never had one of the pioneers get in touch with me. And what kind of impact do you think that would have if one of the pioneers got in touch with you and personally said, are you coming back? You know, that's and that's the kind of thing that that's a small thing, that's a small thought in my mind, but what I'm talking about is a lot of the pioneers maybe could have done more, and it's never made sense to me that there was only so many people at that event. But if you look at all the added up followers in terms of email lists, YouTube subscribers, Instagram wasn't really around then, but I don't know, Twitter or Facebook or whatever, it must have been like nearly 1 million people that would have been touched by the idea, by the concept of Woodstock. And if people had really made a bit more of an effort, it could have really just been so packed every year. But I don't know, I think some of the pioneers didn't see it that way. They didn't see it as their responsibility to try and fill up the event. Maybe some of them really did. Not saying that, so you can make up your own mind on that, but everyone could have stepped their game up, I think, and really tried to make the event flourish. That's just a thought. But at the same time, when I'm talking hangers on, I'm talking people getting like, you know, like pioneers would maybe like have an assistant that would come, or maybe some extra person that would get a discount or would come for less, and you're thinking, really, is that necessary to not just pay for the person but pay for like extra people on top of that? The volunteers never paid. I think, you know, personally, I think the volunteers probably should have paid a certain amount to come, even if it was just paid for their room for the night and didn't pay for the food or the lectures because they weren't attending us so much. But if they paid for just the accommodation part of it, but you know, Woodstock, Mike certainly didn't want to do that, and that was his vision, that's his feeling. So there's small things like that irk me. It irks me, the idea that Mike ends up paying for all these people to go and have these great experiences and stuff, and they've not paid towards it. It irks me, but it doesn't irk him, you know. So it's not for me to really comment on that. But You know, I have a friend. There's a friend, and I'm still great friends with him and everything. It's not Connor, I mentioned him before. It's not him. But I remember a guy speaking with some people, and a guy said last year, you know, maybe getting a bit of a following on social media, or whatever. And he was like, "I need to come to this for free next year," and I just didn't understand that attitude at all. You know, this idea that uh, to me it's like if I was making a living off, if I was starting to get bigger on social media or something, or make loads of money out of it or something like that, then that's a greater opportunity to pay to come to the event rather than like I want to use this to come for free. I should be like a guest. And I don't like that attitude, to be honest. I'm thinking like, how can I help out this event? How can we help it to grow? So all the stuff that happened a couple of years ago, or the drama last year or so, it was all very sad, really sad. And I don't know, a lot of stuff's come out of that. People obviously not coming anymore, and presenters not coming anymore that were a big part of it. And it's sad, and it's kind of weird the way it all played out. And certainly at the time, I was really of the opinion that I thought the event was making the right decisions. And I don't know, in retrospect, I don't know. I don't know if it was the right decision or not. I don't know if it was the right thing. And it's, you know, it's happened, it's history. And everything that's happened since then has been kind of weird, I guess. Because out of a raw food festival, a big, like, maybe not an anti-raw movement, but this whole, the Rottle 4 thing erupted out of that. And I don't know if anyone in Rottle 4 even knows what the Woodstock Food Festival is, or knows who Doug Graham is, or the 8-10-10 diet, or 30-bit, or I don't know, even 30 Bananas a Day website, or whatever. I don't even know if anyone remembers any of that stuff. But yeah, this all came from the raw food movement. No one in the starch movement was talking about eating loads of fruit or anything like that. You know, it's not some obvious vegan thing. I don't know why I'm talking about that, but anyway, Woodstock. You know, it's just sad to me that there was people that maybe could have upped their game and helped the event, but you know, there's competing interests in the world, and people have other things on their mind, and maybe some people wanted it to be more of a holiday and didn't really want to have all their followers there and stuff like that. So it's one of these things. I'm really sad that the event's going to end, and I'm looking forward to going for the last time, and I'm sure there'll be other ways to connect with these people, hopefully in other places. Obviously the UK festival, the one that I've started, and if you're on the fence, just come. You know, if you're on the fence, you're not going to be disappointed by this event, by the people, by anything. Just make that decision and come. Make it happen. The world is out there to support you in getting to events. You know, the airlines and the the transport systems are there, and everything's in place to get you there on time and enjoying it. And when you're there, you'll be glad you got there. Okay. Hope to see you at Woodstock. Let me know if you saw this video if you get there.